Good morning. It's coming to you from beautiful Foxtrap on another gorgeous sunny morning. I just wanted to bring up a small point. We all talk about issues and we all talk about what needs to change, whatever, but sometimes you have a conversation with somebody and it kind of doesn't, it doesn't necessarily change your perspective, but it gives you a little bit more of a focused look at it or a look from another perspective. I consider myself pretty fortunate, and I think fortunate in life is a combination of two things. Uh, you have skill, opportunity, a little bit of luck in there. You know, things work out for you at the right time. Things lined up at the right moment. You know, you don't have a lot of challenges. I wasn't. I didn't grow up with any disability, or I had some friends that did, but I never really fully understood that because I wasn't in that world a whole lot. My son was born completely healthy, so I never had to deal with the challenges that many people do. So the conversation I had with somebody was regarding their situation as a human being. It had nothing to do really with this election at all. It sort of comes into like transportation in a second, but I just want people to understand something for a moment. And no matter who you are, whether it's myself or anyone sitting in those seats on September 29th, I want you to actually listen to this one. Um, this particular person has a child with special needs. This child has the inability to walk. It requires assistance in the sense of a special wheelchair, special equipment to get around, you know. So what ends up happening is, and if you don't know this, for people that haven't been as fortunate, they've had some challenges put in front of them. Maybe um, things just didn't work out for them. Luck and opportunity didn't show up at the right time. Um, and they find themselves availing of government services such as social assistance. And that's what it's there for. Absolutely. That's when people are in hard times. That's what it's there for. Um, but I didn't understand how little that actually contributed to their life. So this person had to take their child to an event in St. John's. So it was an event for similar kids with special needs. And of course, she had to pay for this out of pocket. She doesn't have a whole lot of money. It was well over $100, I found out, to go to this event for her child to have a good day. And there's no opportunity for her to use anything else other than be on foot, pushing a wheelchair, and just getting to the store is hard. You know, I can get in my car and I can go down pretty easy and get something, you know. So, this rolls into two things. Yes, transportation. We need to figure out something for people like this person and her child and other children like it. They need to figure it out for people who have mobility issues, the elderly, people on fixed incomes like CPP. Lord knows we all know that isn't the golden parachute that we all have, or would want rather. If we think about it, for example, like the whole busing situation or transit system, we need to design that around the realities of the people's lives in this town. We have a lot of people that are sort of forgotten, um, not really considered by the majority of people, sadly. Because it's not part of our day, so we don't normally see it. Um, So transit is not just me getting to the store. I don't particularly need it. But there's people that, when they go to the store, they have to pay for a cab to go down and get it and come back. And I know people who think, I've thought for years that, oh, it's all given to them, it's free. That is not true. They have to pay out of pocket to go as far as Dominion and come back, or walk. And if you have a child in a wheelchair, that doesn't happen. So we got a problem with our transportation system. We don't have any particular service to do this. And we also have an issue with the quality of our roads. So let's just say, for argument's sake, that this person had no trouble walking to the store on a given day with their child who has augmented transportation. So they have a wheelchair, an electric wheelchair, or a push chair, or some sort of assistance. I don't know you, man, but I'm, as an able-bodied pedestrian, I'm not too sure-footed on some of this too. Well, I'm older too, so my own mother is aging, and she has a hard time just going for a walk. So again, no matter who sits there on September 29th, I think it's important that we push these two things, and not in the sense of just, oh, we gotta have it, gotta need it. It's not an agenda thing. It's just got to be done, man. Like, enough's enough. If we can spend, I don't mean to pick on it again, but if we can spend $950,000 on a piece of property when we already own some property that could have possibly been used, maybe it was impossible, maybe it was not possible to be used, maybe we could have bought other properties for much less and use that to fix some stuff here, you know? I'm not saying all those choices were wrong, and in retrospect, and I often say, looking back, I have the luxury of looking backwards, and I can say, oh, this was wrong and that was wrong. And the council at the time was looking forwards, and they didn't have that same view. But I think what was missing was true understanding of the plight of some of the people. And a society really should be judged on how it handles its vulnerable people. If we help the vulnerable, it says a lot more about us. I just can't imagine having to do that. Anyway, no matter what happens, September 28th, whoever's sitting in those seats, don't drop these. Don't drop the ball. Please. There are people out there who are suffering, and they wonder every day they get up, how am I going to go get food? Or how can I afford it? Can I get my child to school? And don't even get into the whole busing thing. That's another issue in and of itself. But if we just stop and think about the worst cases we have and tune our town to that, just the worst possible scenarios, when your opportunity didn't exist, you didn't have the luck and opportunity happen to show up at the right time, serendipitous, you have a hard time. Don't, man. Like, make every decision for those people, and everything else will line up. There's no sense having a accessible park if you can't get there. Like, it's when you think of it that way, what sense is this? Anyway, again, whoever sits there, don't drop these. We need to look after people a little bit better.